I've done over $2.1 million in the past year with this one dropshipping store. I spent a little over $1 million on Facebook ads in total, and I'm going to be showing you guys how I set up my ad campaigns with Facebook. This is the exact same campaign structure that took one of my Discord members that we helped test and scale this product. So they're at 3.4 ROAS, currently scaling right now, which is awesome. So the campaign structure is pretty simple. If we just go up here and to test long form is pretty simple. You'd have one CBO per country. So for example, the US, you'll have $100 or $200 budget. 100 to 200 is fine. I like to do around 1 to 3 ad sets, different angles and desires. So ad set 1 might be one angle or one desire. Ad set 2 is a different one. Inside those ad sets have 3 ads. So I'll show you guys actually inside the ads manager to set it up with you guys. So I'm in a new ad account here, and what we'll do is just create a campaign, a sales campaign. This is the pretty basic stuff, but we'll rename it. If we're doing US, we'll do like product name, and then I like to put the budget, and then let's do February 10, which would be the next day if we're testing. Advantage catalog off, budget will be around 100, and then if you go to the ad set level, we'll just name this desire 1 or even angle 1. Obviously set up your pixel and put it in. I get a lot of questions on like, when should I change my pixel or something? If you're testing different products, even if it's in a different niche or a completely different product, you want to just like keep the same pixel. If you're changing stores, you would change your pixel. But if you're running multiple products on one store, testing different products, different niches on one store, always use the same pixel. And then the scheduling, we'll do 12 a.m. the next day. And then the locations, I would do the United States because that's where I'm targeting. And then everything else in the ad set is good. Now in this ad section, you're just gonna name your ad set like D1 ad number 1. And you wanna do manual upload single image, then the website URL, you wanna put your product page. And then once you set up your creative, you wanna add your first image. So let's say image 1 here. Then you're gonna add all your primary text, like the long form, the same body, hook 1. Okay, so basically you're gonna have different hooks but the same body 5 times. So the same 5 bodies, which are basically the main messaging and like the main desire you're hitting. So it might be the first couple sentences or paragraph, that's gonna be your hook. And then for the headline, I like to have 5 as well. Usually if I'm doing long form, I like to do like, read this if you have this problem. Like obviously put your problem in.
Or like read this if you're 50 plus with problem. Along these lines, or like how I fixed my problem. Why you will never fix problem. If you have this problem, read this.
So it's basically inclining people to read the long form script. And then make sure to check all these off here. Description, you'll just leave blank. Call to action for long form, I like to do learn more. And then also get rid of the music and everything pretty much, so it's 0 out of 11. This last part's optional, but it's really useful, especially in the future if you're going to scale, if you end up scaling. So I like to put this UTM parameters in. This is a little bit confusing for most people, but it just basically helps you find which ads are getting the sales through UTM parameters. And if you end up getting triple whale, it's already set up beforehand. So let's say you're scaling high and you don't want to republish and put your ads back into learning by republishing and adding these triple whale UTMs. It's a bit confusing for beginners, but it's good to have just so you can track which ads are getting the sales. In case Facebook doesn't track it or it's late to track, Shopify will usually track it right away. So let's say all these primary text and headlines are set up with this one image, then we'll just duplicate this. Let's say you have 5 images in total, you would duplicate 4 times and just rename this to D2. And then basically on D2 here, you would add your second image. And then everything else is literally the same. Just actually make sure that this is turned off. So music's turned off. And then you want to do that for 3, 4, and 5, just with new images. And let's say you're testing 2 or 3 desires, you can just duplicate the ad set and then do the same thing, just desire 2, and you would change all these copies. Do the same thing but with your second desire. Now that's for long form, but also you can use that for custom content as well if you're testing different desires with custom video content. So I would say long form slash custom content. But for calo-rips, if you're going to end up doing calo-rips, pretty simple. I just use the same thing but with one CBO or one ad set, and then just put all your rips into that one ad set. Now let's briefly talk about scaling. So when you're scaling, obviously you're increasing the budget, so you're vertically scaling. So let's say you hit your target ROAS and you want to scale. The next day at around 12 a.m. you want to increase the budget by 20%. So this would be 120, and then so on. Or something that I've been testing as well is increasing the budget 100%, so basically 2xing it at the start once you hit your target KPIs, and then you do that about 2 times until you reach $400 budget. Then you can start increasing by 20%. This is basically a little more aggressive scaling, so you can kind of choose whichever one you want to do. If you want to play safe, you can do increase budget by 20%, but you're just going to scale slightly slower. Now that's vertically scaling, it's just increasing the budgets. But when you're horizontally scaling, or basically just making new ads and testing new ads, you want to see which desire is really getting the most spend and also the results. So let's say desire 1 is your winning desire, or let's say it's angle 1. And also this can apply to custom content, by the way, it's not just long form. So you want to double down on the winning desire and angle. How do you do that? Well, it's pretty simple. You can add new video creatives around the same messaging and the same desire. And if you're doing long form, you can just test new images with the same winning script. So let's say desire 1 is the winner. You would just duplicate it into the same CBO. You don't want to make a scaling campaign or anything, just keep everything into one CBO. The only time you would make another CBO or another campaign is when you're targeting a different country. So for example, the UK or Canada. And basically this is going to be desire 1 new images, and everything's going to stay the same. You're basically just changing the images into different images. And it's the same for custom content. Let's say this video ad is getting the most spend. Then you want to make a similar video ad and just put it in a new ad set. And you can make 5 different iterations of that one winning ad, and each iteration would go into one of these ads. So to kind of break it down here, for the long form, you want to test new images with the same copy, and then also you can test new copies of the same images. And let's say through testing new images, you find a new winning image. And also when you test new copies, you find a new winning copy. You can basically then put them both into one ad set together, so you're combining the new winning image with the new winning copy. And you kind of want to just repeat this process till you find a bunch of new images that are winning, a bunch of new copies that are winning, and then just combine them, basically combining a winning image and a winning copy together. And again, when you're testing these new images or copies, you're literally just making a new ad set in the same campaign. So you can see with this one campaign here, let's say this and these 3 were the main testing desires, and you test new copies and new images, and then they take spend like these, then you're basically just horizontally scaling. Because if you just vertically scale with the budget, and you don't add these new ads, these ads right here will eventually, their CPAs will increase and their ROAS will decrease. It'll just get creative fatigue. So you always want to test new stuff and test iterations and variations of the winning ones. So yeah, I'm super happy for this guy. He's actually doing all the right things and scaling pretty well. But thank you guys for watching. If you guys want all the links to my private supplier and the tools I use for just $29, it's in the description. And then my brother and I's free Discord is also in the description. The Discord is really active. We like to reply to people and give advice and answer questions there. You can also DM me on Instagram, any questions, I'll try and get back to you. Let me know in the comments what you guys want to see next, and I'll try and make a video on it.